Hey, welcome to Wayne Chair Books. I'm your host, Michael Philippone. I'm going to talk to you today about a story collection. This book is called Pictures of Houses with Water Damage by Michael Hemmingson. This book was incredible. I absolutely love this book. It's 170 pages or so of stories. I think there are probably about 24 stories in it. That's the table of contents. They were incredible. I loved it. I love this book so much. It came out at the end of 2010 from Black Lawrence Press, which is an imprint of Dzanc Books. First book I read by Michael Hemmingson, though I've read about him online. Well, first of all, I was on the fence about getting this book. I wanted to read it. Basically, I wanted to like this book. I knew nothing about it, but I wanted so desperately to like this book, to buy it, to read it, and to fall in love with it, which is exactly what happened. But I saw the cover. I really loved the design and the layout. I loved everything from the font to the image. And now that I have the book in my hands, it doesn't just look beautiful, it feels great too. The paper quality, the shape and size, it is a great book. I'm so happy with it. But anyway, the main point is the stories inside, which they were great. I love them. I love them so much. It's like when you really like a book, especially one that you didn't really know anything about and it totally snuck up on you. They're like the hardest books to talk about, but I'm going to try to talk about it. Oh, like I said, I looked up Michael Hemmingson online, and the guy's prolific. He writes fiction, poetry, stories, novels, nonfiction. I think he's working on. He's written nonfiction on William T. Vollmann, Raymond Carver, Star Trek. And I think in 2010 he came out with like 7 books. 2009, something like 5 books. The guy has published dozens of works since I think his first published was 1984. Something like that, 84, 85. So, Pictures of Houses with Water Damage. Stories. They were, for the most part, stories, real stories about people, usually about relationships. Generally, I do not like relationship stories. Stories about divorce, cheating, all those kinds of stories, I usually just don't like them. These were great, though. They, I don't even know what to say about this book. Well, let me tell you about this top blurb. Larry McCaffrey says, Michael Hemmingson is Raymond Carver on acid, which is, I believe, only half true. The stories are definitely very, very similar to Raymond Carver stories. Everything from style, voice, characters, absolutely, very much like Raymond Carver. If you're a fan of Raymond Carver, you're probably going to like the book. If you're not a fan of Raymond Carver's, then I don't know. I believe it's up for grabs. Someone might say you wouldn't like the book. It has a lot of similarities to Raymond Carver's short stories, but I think they're different. And this blurb, Michael Hemmingson is Raymond Carver on acid. Like I said, only half agree. I don't like the acid part. I think that that's not giving due credit to such a strong voice. I think saying that it's like Raymond Carver on acid kind of makes it sound it's like not coherent, not cohesive, kind of like out there, but totally not. Totally the opposite, actually. I think, like I said, the stories are similar to Raymond Carver in voice, structure. The characters are similar to Raymond Carver characters, except here's where it's different. I think Michael Hemmingson wants something different from his characters. Now, they resemble the characters from Carver stories, and their lives absolutely resemble characters from Carver stories. And they deal with the same struggles, but I think that Michael Hemmingson tries to get something more out of them. I think he tries to put them in different places. It's really hard to put into words, but if you read it, I think you might know what I mean. Anyway, the book is great. I can't say that enough. The first story is called "Why Don't You Use Your Parking Space?" I thought it was interesting, and actually I was really curious about something in this story. Basically, the story is about a man who has an apartment in like an apartment complex in a city, and he has an allotted parking space, as each apartment within the complex would have a designated parking space. He has his own, but notices that there are two other women who share an apartment in his complex, and they're using his parking space to have a yard sale. They're selling their stuff in his space. He doesn't have a car, so he doesn't use his space, but he sees them using his space and feels like his space was violated. And that's only the start of the story. But I found it interesting that this book opened with that, which basically, to sum it up, it's a confused yard sale story. And not that the story is confused, but there's the tension within the story is because of a yard sale. And in Raymond Carver's book, What We Talk About When We Talk About Love, that opens with a story, I think it's called "Why Don't You Dance?" And that story is also about a confused yard sale. I think basically that story is, there's a guy who, I think he's drunk. I think he's depressed or in a tough place, and he basically takes all his belongings that are in his house, moves them out onto the front lawn. And then there's a young couple, very much in love, very naive, especially in relation to the drunk man moving his furniture and all his belongings. And this young couple comes to, they walk by this guy's house, and they think it's a yard sale. They think he's setting up all his stuff to sell. Anyway, I found that really interesting. I would love to actually ask Michael if he had any intention to have this parallelism of opening his collection with a yard sale story. Or maybe that's totally just my own, maybe I'm the only one who noticed that. Though, I don't know. I think it's too big of a thing not to have intended. Anyway, Shoes of Houses with Water Damage. First book I finished in 2011. What a way to start off the year. It's totally a top contender already for favorite story collection I've read in 2011. All the other collections are going to have some tough competition by this one. But that's that. I would love to know what you thought if you read it. I noticed that on Amazon, on Goodreads, on other places online, no one's reviewing this book. Up until like a couple days ago, it had no reviews on Amazon. I think it had maybe 1 starred review on Goodreads. Not even a written review, just a starred review. Just someone gave it some stars. I'm curious why that is. I think that this is a book that people will love. I'm basically just waiting until it gets its due praise. But partially that's why I'm making this video right now. Pictures of Houses with Water Damage. Pick it up, read it, let me know what you thought. I'll see you later. Thanks.